What's up, guys? It is I, once again, Yusuf El Saned, and today, guys, I want to do a special kind of tag video which a friend of mine and fellow YouTuber, Boop1987, also known as Rebbecca, has tagged me in, and this tag is known as the couples tag. I will be working on this tag right now, and the next video will be a different kind of tag, a villains tag. And this video right here will be focused on the couples, my favorite couples of all time that rank from 5 to 1. And I'll talk about each of these couples in brief detail, but here we go. My number 5 pick for the top 5 couples of all time is Dean and Cindy from Blue Valentine, who are played by Ryan Gosling and Michelle Williams respectively. Dean and Cindy have a very destructive, tragic relationship in how they met each other, and they marry and they become a happy family. Cindy bears a daughter she got from a different man, and many years later their relationship just goes through a downward spiral, and how Dean and Cindy, as much as they love each other, their love won't last forever. It's that kind of relationship that is love at first sight, and it doesn't always go the way you want it to, because in reality, guys, no matter how much you love someone, that love won't always shine bright, and that light will become dimmer and dimmer until it's just gone. And Dean and Cindy have had their moments. They were good, but they also had their bad moments. And whether Dean is on the wrong or Cindy is on the right, whoever's right or wrong, it doesn't really matter, because marriages don't always end up happily. And Dean and Cindy's relationship, guys, just breaks my heart, because I relate to Dean in so many ways, but at the same time I understand where Cindy is coming from and why she feels frustrated by Dean and the potential he has to do something better than where he's at in life. And Cindy is a very fragile young woman who has gone through a lot, and Dean has gone through a lot as well, but they're very different personalities, and yet they complete each other. And this film, guys, breaks my heart, because I've seen it only a few times, like Blues Warm as Color, which I'll get into later, but this movie shattered my heart to bits, and every viewing is even harder to watch. It's so honest, so brutal, and yet so beautiful, guys. This is, for me personally, how life is. And yet, when some people see these kind of movies as sad or depressing, I see the beauty in them. And hell, through sadness comes beauty and joy, but who am I to say? Now at number 4, my number 4 couples are Oscar and Ely from Let the Right One In. And now there was a remake of this movie called Let Me In, but I do not like that movie at all. I actually hate it. But Let the Right One In is a Swedish film, a vampire horror / romantic drama that tells the story of a young boy, Oscar, who's being bullied, and he's been abused so much at school, and he doesn't have any friends, and he's slowly developing a psychotic tendency to want to kill these bullies because of the torment they put him through. But one day he meets a young girl named Ely, and she meets with Oscar, and these two form a relationship which at first they're very distant, but they start to grow closer and closer, and Oscar starts to learn a different side to Ely which he did not see coming. And Ely is a girl, or so we think. And the thing that really got me about this movie, guys, as Mark Kermode, the British film critic, would say, it's a movie not so much about vampires, but about kids. As he would say, Let the Right One In is a movie about kids that just so happens to include vampires. And that is so right, because this movie, it's so much about the kids and their relationship and how very mature they are and how they interact with each other the way adults would. And that makes their bond all the more beautiful. And I love Oscar and Ely. And when you guys learn more about Ely, especially after reading the book, which Let the Right One In is based on, it is so beautiful, guys, because Ely is neither a girl nor a vampire. And what I mean by that is for you guys to find out if you read the book or if you get small hints in the movie which describes something about Ely which is very subtle, but there's something about Ely that really fascinates me, and her bond with Oscar is so poignant and powerful because Ely is the mature one. She's the one who's the most rational and patient, and yet she's still a girl because she has all the maturity and all the knowledge in the world, but she's still a little girl. And Oscar is a boy on the verge of losing his mind because of the torment he faced. And I can honestly sympathize with that, guys, because I've been bullied for 12 years in my life, 12 years. And there are times I do want to do the things that Oscar has been thinking of. But what this movie is so good at is showing how human these two kids are, and it's so beautiful, guys. It really is. My number 3 pick in the couples list is Bathsheba Everdeen and Gabriel Oak from Far From the Madding Crowd by Thomas Vinterberg. This movie, it has Bathsheba played by Carey Mulligan and Gabriel played by Matthias Schoenaer. Two incredible actors who play off each other very well. And Far From the Madding Crowd, for me personally, is a movie that discusses gender roles in society and how each has their own role to fulfill. In the case of Bathsheba, she's a woman who is independent, strong-minded, strong-willed, but also very fragile and vulnerable. And Gabriel is a man who's also vulnerable, a man looking for love, yet he doesn't have all the knowledge or experience that Bathsheba has. And he does help her, support her like a dear friend, selflessly, because at the beginning he does want her hand in marriage, but when she refuses him, he sticks close by her because no matter where he goes, he seems almost bound to be with her. And Gabriel doesn't look for love or passion with her. He's just there for her to be happy as her friend and as someone who she can count on and lean on to. And whenever she meets another man, it does break his heart to see him with another man, especially a man who's as vile and revolt as his colonel. But he tries to be patient with her and try to be supportive as best he can because his happiness doesn't matter. The only thing that he cares about is her and her alone and what makes her happy. And by the end, guys, I was smiling and I was crying with such joy because Bathsheba, like I said before, is a woman who's strong, independent, and strong-willed, but she also has her needs as a woman, as do men, and she does want a partner in her life, but on her terms and her time. And it's so beautiful the way the film concludes after all the things that happens to both Gabriel and Bathsheba. And this other guy who's played by Michael Sheen, he's this and I think he's a aristocrat, I'm not really sure, but Michael Sheen plays this character and he just broke my heart, guys, because where Gabriel is reserved and calm, this man is on the verge of losing his mind because of how his love for Bathsheba is consuming him. He doesn't even care if she loves him out of pity, and that's what's so sad and breaks my heart, guys, because I can be emotional, I can be reserved and calm, and there are two parts of me in both Gabriel and this man played by Michael Sheen. But I love the movie because of how it shows different personality traits to each of these men. We also have Juno Temple, who represents that woman who leans onto a man and needs a man and relies solely on a man, whereas Bathsheba is independent and relies on her own skill. And there are many sides to both genders in this movie. There's one character I do not like, guys. This character is the Colonel, like I mentioned. I do not personally like him. I think he's he's the worst kind of man you can imagine, if you can even call something like that a man, because I always look to my brothers or to my father or to anyone who is the ideal man, someone who cares about people, looking out for their interests and not their own, always sacrificing what they love for them, and that is what makes an ideal man. And this movie is all about that, but at the same time it's a beautiful love story that deals with these two, Gabriel and Bathsheba. It deals with their relationship in such a beautiful, honest way, and it is so wonderful, guys. It really is. At number 2, we have Ennis Del Mar and Jack Twist from Ang Lee's Brokeback Mountain, which is my second favorite movie of all time, and it tells a story about Ennis and Jack, who meet on this mountain known as Brokeback, and how during their time on the mountain they grow closer and closer, and something happens at night that totally shocks them, but it starts to bring out their true self, and how they realize how much they love each other and how much they need each other. And Ennis is a man who can be described as asexual, where he doesn't look for relationships or any personal interest because of something that has happened to him and his brother when they were young. And Jack Twist is a very emotional man who is open about his feelings for Ennis, and he does want to be with him, but Ennis keeps pushing him away and away. And this movie lasts, I think, for 20 years. The time span where these two they see each other even after they get married is over the course of 20 years, and they always be in Brokeback, and that's all they got in the end, because no matter how much they try to leave each other, or at least Ennis tries to leave Jack, they always come back to each other, especially near Brokeback Mountain. And this is a very sad movie, guys, because me, if you all don't know, I am bisexual, and I do love men and women. I always look for a partner in life, whether a man and woman. I don't really know, but it's going to happen sometime, I hope. But when I saw this movie the first time, I know, guys, because it's not easy to be someone who's either gay, lesbian, transsexual, or bisexual, or even straight sometimes, but for my experience, what Ennis and Jack went through, I really felt it, guys, and I don't know. But Jack and Ennis' relationship is just one of those relationships I'll always hold dear to my heart. It's not a story about gay love or like straight love. It's just a love story that between two people who love each other and they need each other. And I felt bad for their spouses, because of when they realize who their husbands are and why that they're having an affair with each other. This movie, it humanizes every character, and it just broke my heart. And not once was I like, you know, overwhelmed with joy, not until the very end. But even so, it's one of those endings that is bittersweet, and I love this movie, guys. I honest to God love it. Now, my number 1 pick finally is Adele and Emma from Abdelatif Keshish's Blues the Warmest Color, also known in French as La Vie d'Adèle, Chapter 1 et 2, and it's translated in English as The Life of Adele, Chapters 1 and 2. There was a book based on this movie called La Vie d'Adèle, like I mentioned, also known in English as Blues Warmest Color. It was written by Julie Moreau, but this film is directed by Abdelatif Keshish. And the love between Adele and Emma is a very powerful one and a very sad one. It's my favorite because I have never in all my life, guys, seen a love this real, this visceral, and this organic, because There were times in the movie I felt violated, not because of the infamous sex scenes that happened in the movie, but because of how raw and real the emotion was and how honest it was. It shattered my heart to see what Adele and Emma go through, especially Adele, because this movie is over 3 hours long, guys, and Adele is in every single scene and every single frame of this movie. She captures the audience's attention so well, and when she cries, when she laughs, when she smiles, my God, I love her smile. And when she talks with Emma, or when she finds she discovers more about herself and her sexuality, it is all just so beautiful, guys. And Adele is, like me, a very sensitive, emotional person, almost to a fault. And the fact that Adele can't connect with anyone that she meets the way she does with Emma is truly, like I said before in the beginning, that love at first sight, and how she does love Emma with all her heart, and no matter who she's with, whether some guy or some woman, she'll always have a place in her heart for Emma. And the tagline of the movie is, I'll always have infinite tenderness for you. And that's a line I use myself, guys, because I have a dear friend in my heart, a dear friend and sister. She has found her partner, and I found my partner as well, but yet it's hard for us to be with our partners. And this movie is all about that, about the struggles that couples go through, about sometimes relationship is going to be painful, it's going to just be heart-wrenching, it's going to be there's so much that could happen that you don't even know will happen. But Emma and Adele's love is my favorite because of how honest, real, and just beautiful it is. There's so much about them that I just felt for, and I was so engrossed in this 3 hour running time that I did not once count the time. I did not once fell asleep. I seen this movie 3 times, guys, 3 times, and each time it made me love this movie more and more, but it broke my heart more and more, just like Blue Valentine and just like Brokeback Mountain. And this movie, guys, is truly a masterpiece. I love blue's warmest color, La Vie d'Adele, and I hope you guys can consider watching this movie. It's such a beautiful film, and a perfect one at that. And thank you guys for watching, and thank you, Rebbecca, for tagging me in this video. I'll do the next tag video in the next episode on my channel. And if you like my video, please give it a thumbs up, and like, comment, subscribe. Until next time, guys, peace out, take care, adios, amigos, au revoir, and sayonara.